A new study from First Things First shows that a lack of adequate child care in Arizona costs the state $4.7 billion annually in lost earnings, productivity, and revenue. To learn more, we welcome the CEO of First Things First. There she is, Melinda Gulick. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Good to have you here. Define adequate child care. What's missing here?
Well, you just had an economist on. There's a supply issue. There's less child care slots or spaces in child care centers in Arizona than there are children who need care. And the challenge is that the cost of care has skyrocketed.
And the cost of care probably has skyrocketed because the demand is so high. Why are people just not going into the field, or is the growth just so strong?
It's both. So child care as a career path is a challenging one. We see that the pay for child care workers is nationally around $14 an hour. That's not a livable wage. The studies have shown that you need to earn between $22 and $25 an hour in order to make a living wage, and so it's not an attractive career path. Therefore, employee retention for child care providers is a challenge, and then the costs for parents, working parents who need child care has continued to rise.
And we just had a headline about parental stress now. The Surgeon General says that it's literally a health crisis, an advisory on that. This study, employees lose let's call it $1 billion a year from employee absences due to child care. What? It's just simply being late to work, can't make it to work. You got to go through some. It adds up, doesn't it?
It absolutely does, and it's impacting Arizona's economy in all sorts of ways. So it's also impacting families. Their job search cost and lost wages is adding up to about $3 billion a year. And we know that it also impacted the state revenue with the state budget, the tax proceeds being about $725 million if we were able to get all of those parents to work.
Yeah, 720 in lower federal and state tax revenue, just getting people to work as opposed to missing time, being late for work, not doing the best of job because you can't concentrate on work because you got something else going on. Again, right? That's all in there.
That's all in there. Absolutely.
All right. So with that in mind, before we get to solutions, I want to talk about the impact on child development. With all of this going around, we're talking about parental stress and the whole 9 yards here. You got kids. What's happening to the kids?
Well, right. So you have parents who want accessible, affordable, high-quality care, and we know that's important because the brain develops the most in the first 5 years of life. So all of those skills like critical thinking, social, emotional development, the beginnings of problem solving, how to wait your turn, sit in a chair, share, communicate with your peers, all of those things develop birth to 5. And so that also sets you up for success in school. If you have a high quality early childhood experience, you have higher third grade reading scores, higher math scores in 8th grade, 11% higher chance of graduating from high school, and a much higher chance of some post-secondary attainment.
Have we always, though, had this problem of working adults with children, finding childcare, finding the time, all of it? I mean, it seems like it's always been there. And you're telling me now it's getting worse?
It's getting worse, and I think the pandemic highlighted for employers and for families the need for childcare, and we're really now talking about it as an issue connected to workforce and the economy because of the impacts it's having on parents and on employers. We didn't talk about turnover and employee retention, but 30% of employees have left a job because of childcare issues, and that costs employers lots of money in job search costs, replacement costs, and it's a spiral.
Yeah, okay, so let's talk about solutions here. I know that investing in childcare is a biggie for you. How would it work? What's the process?
So there's a couple of different mechanisms for investing in childcare. There's 3 public programs: Head Start for families who are from 0 to 100% of the federal poverty level. There's Child Care Assistance through the Department of Economic Security. That's for families at 100% to 165% of the federal poverty level. There's First Things First scholarships from my organization for 165% to 300% of the federal poverty level. Then you have all of the families that are beyond that, which not necessarily can afford childcare. But those programs we need to focus on funding, and those funds are obviously limited.
Okay, so what kind of funding, what kind of investment? How realistic? How far can you go on something like this, considering the political climate, considering what's going on in the world right now?
Right. So we'll do all that we can for those 3 programs to fully fund them, and also work in partnership with public-private partnership with state government, with employers, with local school districts, with local chambers of commerce, so that we can create solutions on the ground in communities to solve for specific employer needs. In Arizona, lots of our employers have shift work. So how do you solve for childcare in a second shift or third shift scenario? So we'll work in partnership with employers to try to figure out the solution for their particular population.
Real quickly before we go, is there an is there an appetite for this? Are people paying attention to this?
I think they are paying attention. I'm here today talking about it. It did get its first investment from the state legislature this year in 15 years. We wanted $100 million. We got $12 million. We're very happy about that, although there's now a waiting list with DES, which is unfortunate. But I think because the issue is raising in the minds of employers, economists, and the state, that we're getting the attention we need, and we're going to keep at it.
All right, Melinda Gulick, First Things First, CEO, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.